All right, I guess we're recording. Check it out, y'all. Oops, let's turn the pencils off. I finished, hang on, got a little glare light. There we go. I finished panel 1. It took me a while. 2-point perspective. I started in a little bit on panel 2. And, not a super complicated panel or anything. I still have my, I don't know, would you say doubts about this background. I originally had the background being this area of the house with the window. You can see I've got the window ghosted in here on the pencil. But I moved it over here towards the garage. Whoops. Garage, the barn, the shed. Um, once you start getting the characters in, the backgrounds become less and less important unless they're integral to the what's going on. But you have to have enough to establish what's going on. And the complicated part here is to get all 3 characters in the panel. I would have done it with 4 characters if I could have come up with a cooler way to do it. In such a way that introduces each one's personality. So that was kind of the challenge here. So here I have Perseus and Zephyr. He's throwing the stick for the dog, the gargoyle dog. And then, oh, by the way, no, that shouldn't be there. This ear is facing away. The ears are, they fold over like this, so you can see the inside. But if that ear is facing away, then you can't see the inside. When I started out, I wasn't doing a very good job with the design of either one of the animal characters in here, either the rat or the owl. Like I actually had a Mickey Mouse type nose on there. I'm not doing that. There should be a wrinkle there though. A rat nose is actually, it's more like that. And the tough part is figuring out where everything goes. While keeping it on model. Let's do the gargoyle. The dog was a problem too. I've been looking at CC Beck when they brought Shazam over to DC. They brought back CC Beck out of retirement. He was already retired in the 70s. I think he was. I think he like literally owned a bar in Florida or something like that. They brought him back and they had him draw um, Shazam stories, and he did. Hold on. Wonder if I should make his tongue hanging out. Um, but sometimes they would do corrections on his stuff, and they corrected it wrong, in my opinion. Because the way he does Billy Batson's eyes is they're just dots, and when he would do Captain Marvel's eyes, they're kind of like that. He's got the heroic squint, you know. So I was I was reading, and 80% of the way they're just dots, and then there's one scene where um and it looks to me like an obvious correction. He's like trying to hide, and then they drew regular eyes on him, the white and the dot. And I thought that must be a correction. Of course, I have no way of really telling. I have no idea. But it didn't look like CC Beck had done it. And the thing is that the little dot eyes are fine. You can have other characters that have normal eyes. For example, Superman would often appear in the same comics, and he's drawn a different way. This is a pokey little puppy here. He's a gargoyle puppy. I originally had him named Rascal. But I thought there's probably other bulldogs named Rascal, or like a French bulldog or something. And then I thought Bandit. Well, Johnny Quest's dog is named Bandit, of course. So I had the idea of Zephyr, which is kind of funny to me because he's a dog he's literally made out of stone. Like when this dog runs into you, he's knocking you over. All right. Is this a stick? There we go. And my problem is I put this post right in the way. Oh wait, that one should be here. Now I've created a tangent, which I should not have done. Okay. When you do eyes like this, it does kind of look like a Peanuts, like Charles Schultz sort of bit that I'm doing. But I think that's kind of the part of the secret sauce here is we want to mix the ridiculous and the realistic. So, we've got owl characters and rat characters, and then we have this realistic kind of house looking place. Now this is a barn, the barn door. Some of which is going to get covered up by the speak balloon. We've also got, I'm going to create some irregularity. Oh, shout out to Venger Satanis is going to do a Chalt webcomic, and he's crowdfunding it. Which is very cool. Venger, if you're out there, I would be open to doing that. Let me know. I think he's got Jay Tanaka lined up for it. I may not have the right look for Chalt. Oh, you never know. But I would totally be into that. I'll at least read it. I might even back it. How about so if I do a little splits here to break up the line. They're little tiny things, but they will have an effect. And then we could even do maybe some trodden grass here, little pieces. So the idea here is they're making too much noise. And Balin is annoyed. My original plan of Balin was going to be a villain that was going to get killed in the first scene, or not a villain, but like kind of um, an egotistical character whose ego was going to lead him to making a huge mistake. And then I switched the idea into basically having all of the characters be basically good, but maybe a bit irascible. Like he's mad that they're making so much noise. Because you don't know enough about them, really, to think, okay, this character, he was kind of a jerk, but did he deserve to die? So I changed all that up. By the way, a couple of changes to the model too here. This is Perseus. We're going with feather fingers. If you look up on TV Troops what feather fingers is, it's basically you don't really define what's going on with the hands on the bird character. Um, it's pretty well defined in all of the Carl Barks comics, DuckTales, etc. Should I give him more of a smile? Let's give him a little bit higher smile. There we go. So you kind of leave that undefined, and then you do the feet can have the kind of the bird stuff. If we were to look at my original model, it actually had I would do the bird-like appendages on the hands and the feet, which doesn't really make sense. Then it becomes sort of a griffin, maybe, or something. I don't know. All right, we got stuff going on here. I will be working on this all day. Let's do some stipples. I got that stipple. I got that stipple drip. The way you do it is you need a little bit of. I want to do it right about that size. That's a little too far. I can make it smaller. Okay. Now, let's go into my speech bubbles. And I like to use the technical pen for. There we go. Find fetch the stick. That's the time-honored game of champions. Here we go. Boom. And then keep it down. And I'm hoping that we're getting across the personalities of both characters, both in the art and the dialogue. Let me get back to ink. And fountain inker. I don't know if I should do textures on every one of these boards. I'd be too busy if I do it. So I'll kind of hint at it. This is kind of that Stephen Travers effects of detail without drawing the detail. It's cracking me up that I'm only using the dots for eyes here. Like I can see myself rethinking that in future comics. So what's the other alternative? Something like that. That's probably better. Tail is wagging. I say I went too far here. It's okay. We're gonna fix it up. And the other thing that we can do is figure out, okay, where the light's coming from. If the light is on the other side of the house, then the house will cast this character in shadow. We don't have to we can be pretty subtle about it because at this light level of diffuse light, the shadow is basically the texture, the ground texture. So I think that's what we'll do. We're just going to put some ground texture in there. Where the shadow would be. And I gotta keep remembering I'm gonna do screen tones too, so I could do screen tones here. All right, pretty good. It's like we're getting through it. All right. That's the cringe face. Oof. He's disgusted by his own potion. So these two characters, read the first part. Alcabetz lives in isolation with only his two young nephews. These are the nephews. Well, the nephews of his former adventuring companions. Alcabetz is actually a stork. My problem right now in the story, oops. Yeah, I've got the fountain anchor on still. My problem in the story is I got to figure out there's a message that gets delivered, and it's going to be from Falora, who was in the flashback sequence, and I got to figure out how she delivers it somehow, because she's still not she's still a mystery. We don't know where she is. Oops, hang on. Okay. All right, let's do Lips. There's his potion. There's probably some things floating around in there. All right, let's see how far we got. I should probably lighten up the I'm really liking this fountain anchor. I should lighten up the pencil layer so I can see it better. So I keep having to drop it off entirely and then just kind of freehanding it. Okay. The cauldron is cool, by the way, so he's not like burning his hands or anything. This is like a kung fu or something. David Carradine. All right. Oh, look at that. There is a. See, that was a line that should have been taken out. All right, there we go. Let's get back to Inky. Let's get back to Fountain Anchor. It's there. So you get to a line like that and you're like, well, where am I now? There I am. Not like his thumb there, it's too small. Like bats and mice have they almost have little hands, if you look at them. I gotta make sure he's hairy. There we go. And we will take care of a lot of this with screen tones once again. Where's my fountain anchor? There. No, not the legacy one, the new one. Technical pen, bubbles. Okay, here's a problem. Where is it? Stupid good for nothing potion recipe. We're looking for the best shape. Um, that's a good shape right there. And we're looking to use the panel border as part of our bubble, our speech bubble. Nope, that's too far. Too far. Something like that. All right. So we can also, I could throw white into here because we're probably going to use a screen tone behind him to create some contrast, depending on how dark the panels around him are. We want each panel to be a little bit contrasting. Like if you got a light panel, you get a dark. If you get a green panel, you're gonna do a red panel, right? You're gonna keep switching it up. And then I got a Balin Lookout. Now this is one where I felt like I'd really gone off the model. So I want to play with it a little bit. I like this one. And then he's supposed to have like its shoulders up. I tried to put his shoulders up here, like it's kind of like whoops, cringe, a cringe look. But it's hard to do with an owl character because they don't have a lot of neck anyways. And then how did I do it here? I did it there. Well, let's just resign ourselves to the fact that it's going to be a little bit off. Foundmaker, there we are. We'll do the eyes first. So that's another one where I'm not sure. On this one, I had the eyes go on the outside. I guess that's the best place to put him. Let's get the beak in there. Now, when you're zoomed out, you can leave out certain details like the nostrils and stuff like that, but you don't have a lot of excuses when you're close in. One of the reasons this design seems to work, and I think it does, is it's the recurrence of the C shape. Like you got a C here and a C here and a C in the eyes, C at the top of the beak, C here. What's funny, I was on Kami Mark's channel, and he said it reminds me of that thing I never read. You know what I mean? And I'm like, well, I'm not really sure what you mean, but it turned out he was talking about Redwall. Yeah, yeah, in a way. I read a bit of Redwall. All right, hang on. Yeah, I think it was correct. You have to go both directions, not this direction this way and then the opposite direction the other way. Okay. Same deal there. Okay, so for Perseus, it's covered up by his hand. His hand feathers. No. And then it's open, like it's open at the collar, and it kind of goes down, and then there's like kind of a. But I'm gonna leave that out. We're gonna leave that part out. And in this case, it's both. There's a pinky. I'm gonna have to go look at some Carl Barks to see how he did it. Carl Barks being the gold standard of how this stuff is supposed to look. Carl Barks and Wendy Penny. Okay. He has sleeves. In fact, he has kind of long sleeves. No, not long sleeves. They're short sleeves, but they're longish. Longish on the short side. That means this line is incorrect. And I'm blocking out his belt, but I don't know if I have to. Oops, there we go. There we go. Okay, we're in pretty good shape here. I'm seeing now that I can use this middle line of the eye to do some expression. You see when I pulled it up, he went to being more concerned. But we still managed to maintain that round C shape. So the way I'm doing chainmail for these characters is little circles like this. And you just have to figure out where the where the shadow would be, or conversely where the light source is. So if the light is here, then we're going to texture in around it on this character. I mean, on this side of his sleeve, there's no light, so we probably have to do the whole thing. Well, you could leave some of it open that way. I only took that inking class once. I would take it again immediately if it were offered. Because Joe showed me a lot of stuff. The Joe Kubert part of the inking of the old Kubert correspondence course is now free. It's on YouTube, and it's Kubert himself teaching it. And I actually learned a lot just watching that too, for how he sets things up. And okay, all right. Some of this ain't great, like this line. There's a dude that put out a artist edition of Karl Barks, Kim Weston, and it's prohibitively expensive. It's like $100, but if in it, he's got all the original artwork, because that's the whole point of the artist edition, and it's all his MGM stuff. It's not the Disney stuff. So it's Benny the Burro, and Barney Bear. And he makes a point of saying, if you look at the original art here, you can see he never uses whiteout. He never makes a single correction. Oh, and it's gigantic. The pieces are huge. Okay, so this This thing, it's got a split all the way down here, right down the center. Okay. This is pretty good, except Balin Lookout is too low, so we're going to make that higher. Because remember, we're still going to use part of the panel border. Where are we on? Got it. Let's go back to technical pen. All right. We're almost done with this page. I won't even start on this one for right now. I'm already at 41 minutes. But you can see this is where the dog crashes into Balin. I might have to redraw it, actually. I'm looking at it. It might be okay. I don't know. He crashes in. Balin goes, "You idiots." I think I made my cauldron a little small, for example. Um, but that'll be the next video. All right. Please like, follow, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Check me out. Comics every day.